Back to Straight Facts with Lee Gunner. Loads to talk about today. Arsenal getting their deals completed once the lawyers are done with these deals. We're talking about that. We're looking at Man United and their pursuit of a new midfield player. But some big takes from Man United fans online today that they want Paul Pogba back. Some want Paul Pogba back. We're talking about that. We're talking about Harry Kane. Will he sign a new deal or won't he? Who's going to get Lavia? And much, much more. Sancho talk as well. There's loads to go into. Viewers, hit like buttons. Make sure you subscribe. And Lee's also in the mud as well. And we're going to get an apology from Lee later as well. It's all tongue-in-cheek again. It's all tongue-in-cheek. But
hey, somebody sent me that tweet you put out, yeah. But I watched your video that you put out yesterday. The first 4 minutes had me hooked, yeah. I was about to write, yeah, now who's in the mud? And then you're a joker. You were so convincing with that video, man.
Yeah, I had to... The Maguire stuff annoyed me because I know why we're doing it. And I said this to everybody. You have to admit, on this one, you know, when I tweet Lee Gunners in the mud, I love how people take it seriously. Like, me and you get on. I'm not out here trying to, get you cancelled. It was just, I did say a few months back, trust me, De Gea will not be a Man United first-team goalkeeper anymore. And I didn't care what the manager said in public. I didn't care what the newspaper article said. There was a story beyond it. And it's like the Maguire deal was exactly the same. Of course we're trying to sell him, but because of how bad he's been, if we say we're trying to sell him, you get no money. You have to pretend, no, we don't want to sell him. It's what you have to do publicly. Man United fans are bait. And this is how I know the word bait means something different now. I had people message me going, what does the word bait mean? It's like, I don't know how to explain what the word bait means to people. It basically means like you're letting the cat out the bag, like when you shouldn't, just keep your mouth shut. But yeah, loads to go into today. I want to touch on the Arsenal stuff with you. But first question for you is actually nothing to do with Arsenal and Man United per se. Harry Kane, 400 grand a week deal. Matt Law thinks he's going to be offered. What do you think he's going to do? Do you think he's going to renew that contract and spend the rest of his career at Tottenham with imposter Colwill? Or do you think he's going to say, no, actually, I'm forcing my way out. I'm going to go and win trophies. What's Kane going to do?
Well, he's got a history of being a serial loser, Terry. So it's almost like Matt Law's watched my videos because I said they'll offer him about 400 grand a week. Yeah, and he'll sign and he'll stay. And Daniel Levy and Postecoglou will sit him down and say, look, you can have a legacy at this football club. What happens if you leave and then we win a trophy? Yes, you can go and win somewhere else, like Bayern Munich, for example. But I mean, their bid was just pathetic. Let's be real. It was like 3 million quid more than we paid for Havertz. I mean, come on. Yes, stick a 1 in front of it and you might have a chance. Do you know what I mean? He's probably the only footballer right now with a year left on his contract that is genuinely worth over 100 mil. Yeah, because he guarantees you 30 goals, 25, 30 goals every season. And Bayern Munich ain't going to pay the money, but it's almost like, I don't know, they used to be so elite, Bayern. And I don't know what's happened to them the last couple of years, but it's almost like they're just going, oh, look, we tried, like kind of thing. But in terms of Kane, I think he's staying. He ain't going nowhere. Man United ain't going to pay the money. Chelsea won't pay the money. They can both go and get strikers, Vlahovic, Ivan Toney, players like that are a lot cheaper. That, yes, they're not as good as Kane, but they're a lot younger. And, you know, you can build on that. Whereas Kane, it's literally, he's ready-made for now, but a Man United ready-made for now. A Chelsea ready-made for that. They're not. It's like Kane's the cherry on the top. Yeah, and he's not somebody you're going to be able to build around for the next 5 years. He'll be finished in 5 years. So I think he stays. And I actually think the manager they've got, Postecoglou, I actually think he's not a bad manager. Like I've watched Celtic. I've got a couple of mates that live here, Scottish, and they support Celtic. And when he was their manager, not so much the Scottish League, but in the Champions League, I know they didn't get through the group. Mate, they literally battered Madrid and Shakhtar. Yeah, just didn't have anyone to finish the dinner. Like they should have been 5-0 up against Madrid at half-time in the first game. Like they ripped them. So I think they will get a decent playing style. Now they've got Maddison in there. I think they've just signed Mana Solomon as well on a free. They're looking at other players. I'm not going to say they're going to win anything, but I do think that, well, they're not going to win anything. Let's just be real with it. But it's the history of the Tottenham. But I do think that he stays. And I do think that in 2 seasons' time, he will be the Premier League's top goal scorer. Yeah, whether that's led to winning a trophy in that time, I don't know. I probably won't. It probably wouldn't. But I don't see him going abroad. I don't. And the only club that looks like they're in for him right now is Bayern Munich, and they ain't got the money to pay for him. So unless there's something that happens right at the end and he throws a transfer request in and forces a move out somewhere, he ain't going anywhere. He had his chance last summer and he blew it. Yeah, because he could have quite easily just sat at home and said, bollocks, I ain't coming back. What are you going to do? Yeah, and he could have done that. He could have done that. He didn't throw a transfer request in. He just put a letter out saying that I'd like to leave. It wasn't a transfer request. Didn't actually physically put one in. He was just basically kind of saying that I want to seek pastures new, but it weren't a transfer request type thing. Like, it weren't an official one. Yeah, it was just trying to get everyone to build up the hype train in the media and hope Levi cracks. And Levi didn't. He stayed. Yeah, as soon as he started scoring again, Tottenham fans forgot all about it. And he had his best season in terms of goals, the equal best season he's ever had. Yeah, he scored 30 goals last season. If Erling Haaland won in this league, mate, he would have won the Golden Boot again. And then look at the crap he's been around.
I think for me, what's so interesting about this, everyone knows what I think about that, about Harry Kane.
You got rice on your brain,
yeah. Someone just sent me a thing about it on my head. The thing is about Kane, everyone knows I rate him as ability-wise. I think it's world-class. Outputs is world-class, but he doesn't have the trophies. He doesn't have the clutch moments. He doesn't have the performances and the goals in the title races. And I need to see him force his way out. If he signs this new deal, my opinion of Harry Kane changes. He no longer sits in that world-class category for me. He doesn't sit in it because he's never going to prove himself. He's never going to be in those title races consistently in semi-finals and finals and in a position where he has to deliver at the highest level to prove his world-class quality. You can have the ability, but judging football isn't about ability. It's about more than that. And even if they don't let him go, let's say nobody pays the money for him, that's not quite on Harry Kane. He could force the move, but that's not quite on him. If he signs this new deal, to play for. Listen, I got what you're saying about Ange. I think Big Ange is perfect for Tottenham because they'll play beautiful football, but they still won't win anything.
Yeah.
And
Spurs the fans will be happy because they're playing better football.
They're not all Spurs fans, but there's a big percentage of them, and I would say about 80% would be my guess, who, as long as the football is pretty, as long as they've got pretty things, they are very, very happy indeed. Because the way you just spoke about them, they sign good players, the manager looks pretty decent. If they get praised through the players they sign, their style of football is looked at as one of the best in the league, and they're not really got any pressure on them to win, Spurs fans breathe easy. The problem is, if you're a player that has that same mentality, you're not world class. You should want to put yourself in very uncomfortable, difficult, and dangerous situations. Look at not everyone rates him, but look at Anthony Joshua as a boxer. This guy's got a big fight penciled in with Deontay Wilder in December. Huge money fight. But he accepts a fight now against a very dangerous Dylan White. And if White beats him, AJ's career could be over. The Wilder money is gone. And he's probably not going to get the shot at a world title again, because why would people take the risk? But
if he loses that fight, the Wilder fight ain't happening.
Exactly.
So the pressure's on him to deliver.
Exactly. He's put himself in a very difficult position, which is what winners do. Now, they don't always come out triumphant, but I much prefer what AJ has done to taking some bum in a build-up fight, 3 rounds, easy knockout win. I like it. And that's the thing. Will Harry Kane put himself into a difficult situation to achieve genuine legendary status, greatness within football, or will he take the easy route out?
But do you think he cares about that, Terry? Because if he cared about that, he would have left already. Like, a footballer can get out of a football club if they want to get out of a football club. We've seen it loads of times. Yeah, they just down tools, put a transfer request. Some of them turn up at other football clubs, odd and wingy. Like, just turn up, I'm going to force the move if I can. Like, footballers can get out of a football club. He don't want to. He's comfortable. Yeah, he's got more kids than trophies. Yeah, he's got, I think, another kid on the way. He's happy. He's comfortable. And he's a legend at Tottenham without winning anything, because their fans, when they look back in 30, 40, 50 years' time, they will always talk about Harry Kane, because his goal-scoring record will probably never be broken. Because if he stays there for another 4 or 5 years, he's going to rip the Premier League record to pieces. The only person I could see possibly beating that is Erling Haaland if he stays for that long. Yeah, but Like if he carries on with the volume that he's been scoring on, he could potentially break it. But he's got to stay for a long time to do that. So Harry Kane's most likely going to end up with that record. His England record's not going to be broken anytime soon because we ain't got any decent England strikers. Yeah, so he maybe don't care about trophies. I don't know. If he cared about trophies, Terry, he would have left years ago.
And that's why this summer and this potential new deal, I think, so key in terms of the legacy that he leaves behind. If he doesn't care about trophies, I worry that worries me about him even being the England captain and striker. Yes, he'll score goals, but if your desire isn't to win those trophies and it's to score goals, that's not.
Did you see that tweet that was put out? I can't remember who posted it out. Yeah, but it was when England under-21s won the other night. I can't remember what player it was, and he was holding the golden boot or saying the Spanish player, and he didn't smile. Yeah, and then it showed a picture of Harry Kane when he won the golden boot in the World Cup, and he's smiling. There's just like the difference. But this is the thing. I think he's more about personal accolades rather than team accolades. Yeah, like he's been at Tottenham so long that is his club. Yeah, but if any of our clubs were really serious about wanting to win the Premier League, yeah, we go and put a bid in for him. Just go and offer them 100 million. You should be doing it. We should be doing it. Chelsea should be doing it. Yeah, City don't need him. Yeah, but us three, we should be all going in there and saying, right, bang, let's see how much Daniel Levy's good at business now then, because 100 million, 105 million, 110, whatever, break the transfer record. Yeah, and if you get him in your team, yes, it's not a long-term one, but you're guaranteed to get 30 goals out of him. Mate, he's doing that at Tottenham, Terry. Yeah, imagine what he could do at other teams that are better.
Yeah, I'm still interested to see what happens as and when, if and when Man United's takeover goes through, as and when. I think that could change things. I think the thing with Kane is, I don't think he has that big a desire to go abroad. And what you said about Bayern Munich losing,
he can barely speak English, let alone German.
I think that plays a part. I don't think Bayern Munich's lost its pull as a club, but I think the Bundesliga has. I think it's looked at as a good league, but the Premier League is so. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, there was a debate which was the bigger and better league, the Liga or the Prem. The Prem has left everybody behind in terms of the numbers watching, the money within it, the prestige and the fame that comes with it. Like, you know, the fact is that like when you can tell that by the TV companies and how hard it is sometimes to watch other leagues now. Sometimes it's like, even on like the Liga got dropped by Sky. It's not even on BT Sport. You have to have a third level subscription to have it. Now, the Bundesliga is on Sky, but no one is subscribing to Sky Sports for German football. They're doing it for the Premier League, and it comes as an added bonus. The problem is with German football, it's just not as attractive as it was even 5 years ago. But yeah, look, let's see what happens with that. It's going to be an interesting.
That league's been crap for years, mate. Honestly, it has. Yeah, and do you know what? Remember when we came out of lockdown? That was the first league back, and it was Dortmund versus Bayern. Mate.
Yeah,
I swear, I was just sat there like, why? Like we've been sitting moaning there's no football for a year and a half, or a year, and we're sitting here watching Bundesliga. It was garbage, absolute garbage, and they can't pay the money. Yeah, they haven't got any real superstars out there anymore. Like Thomas Muller's probably the biggest name out there. Let's be real. Yeah, mate, Thomas Muller's mad underrated.
It's dwindling. Tim Kimmich probably is.
Kimmich is decent, yeah, but most of the decent players play for Bayern. The rest of them.
Very good players, but they're not stars. This is the thing, that you can be a top-class player, but it doesn't make you a star. Someone that everybody gravitates towards watching. Speaking of stars, though, I saw the maddest thing on socials today, mate. We all know Man United are linked with Amrabat. The deal is on. The deal is active. It's something that I loved how the media put it today. They're sort of like, Man United are monitoring him and they admire him. And I know you love those buzzwords. I've seen your video viral of you saying that. But then when you kind of read the full report, it's they want to get their goalie and their striker done first. Then they're going to look for another midfielder, which means we're active in this deal, but we need to get priorities done first. And I think we spoke about this last week. Amrabat to Man United would be a phenomenal piece of business, especially for around the 20-25 million pound they're talking. He is top class. There is no doubt about it. But Man United fans this afternoon, I've seen a few of them talk about bringing back Paul Pogba because Juve would accept around 10 million euros for him. Paul Pogba back to Man United. Some of them think that Ten Hag could turn him into a star and there's no risk in the deal. That's what they think.
Good job they ain't paid to think then, isn't it?
I can't believe
they just love a love story. Terry, these football fans, so many of them online, especially, I guarantee that was Twitter, right?
Yes.
So many of them on Twitter just love the storyline. They love the emotions. Yeah, it's like, oh my God, we could bring Pogba back and it could be a fairy tale, redemption. We had it with Granit Xhaka. Oh, redemption. What are you waffling about? Like, Paul Pogba is not coming back to Man United and he ain't good enough to play for Man United right now if you want to win a title. That's it. Yeah, Paul Pogba 4 years ago, cool. Yeah, but again, he was misused, mismanaged, and his attitude at times was a joke. Yeah, top footballer when he's on it. Yeah, I said many times, yeah, that when he was playing really well, he was the best midfielder in the world. Yeah, the problem is he didn't do it consistently. Now, whether that's just down to him or whether that was down to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or a bit of both. Yeah, I know he had a load of dramas with his brother, I think it was, like off-field stuff. Yeah, like, mate, the guy's career, he's going to look back at it and think what could have been, because even though he's won a lot of trophies and he's won a lot of big trophies, yeah, he could have won a lot more and he could have been in there for Ballon d'Or shouts and everything. Yeah, and it's kind of mad because I said this about Eden Hazard as well. Yeah, Eden Hazard's another one. Like, he could have been the best player on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like people like that wind me up. It's like you've got all that talent, but it just don't seem like you want it. Like, you're just doing the bare minimum. Yeah, and, you know, Man United fans also did scapegoat him quite a lot when they should have been blaming it on Ollie, playing him at right wing back at one game, I think it was, right wing back. Like, what's that all about? I think you played him at centre back at one game. No, it's just ridiculous. He ain't coming back. Like, whoever's sitting there trying to have this little fairy tale, no, get out, man. Get some fresh air.
Yeah, look, I look at everyone knows I love the rated Paul Pogba, but I've got a feeling he's finished at the highest level, and I'm talking injuries.
He'll go Saudi.
You know, yeah, I think he may if he leaves Juve. Like, the guy played 161 minutes last year. Someone actually in the comments a minute ago said, I'd take him at Arsenal on loan if he's over his injuries. But he isn't over his injuries. Pogba over the last 3 to 4. One of the reasons I didn't want us to re-sign him on 400 grand a week is that invariably, since he was at United, he was missing 2 to 3 months every season. You can't afford to have someone on that kind of money and then miss. I know we had this conversation about Neymar, but when you miss more than 2 or 3 months of the season, almost as a guarantee every year, you can't afford to pay someone that amount of money.
It depends, because if he's doing above and beyond the Call of Duty when he is playing, and it's elevating you so high up that it's not so much of a miss when he's out, yeah, then it doesn't really matter.
City could get away with it.
When he was playing well, it wasn't.
It's more about your squad. I think it's more about your squad. It's can your squad cope without him? The problem is for most teams, you can't afford to pay too many players that kind of money, and the amount of money he demands is a star. You need your stars to be available, unless you can afford to have 2 or 3 stars, and when he's missing, you know, it's no big deal for you. But yeah, I wouldn't touch Pogba again with a barge pole. But it's even like Martial. There are some Man United fans who still go on, you know, maybe this year. You know, we've got a friendly tomorrow. He ain't going because his hamstring ain't recovered from the end of the season. So he's still injured. And there are Man United fans who legitimately think Martial's got... Listen, I understand the romantic element of a player that's fallen from grace or been sold or that everyone's written off coming back. There's talk of Sancho getting another one final attempt, and even that I sort of think I get. That would be his 3rd season. He has to deliver. I get the romance behind. Oh, imagine if he turns it back on and gets back to his best. The story, the romance, the Disney element of it. You know, the fanfare at the end when he's being held aloft, and oh my God, I was right to back him. But football fans have got to wake up and smell the coffee. How often does that really happen? You know, drop the fantasy, drop the movie-like script. I love Rocky and I love the Creed films, but they're not real. They don't really.
Ultimately, you have to win stuff, and you have to be a big part in winning it. It's all well and good talking about Jadon Sancho and mate, it's his 3rd season coming up. He's been crap for 2. He had 3 months off last season because of whatever issue we don't know. Yeah, it was peddled up in the media as he needs to get his mental health straight. Nobody actually knows why he was off for 3 months. Nobody has a clue. That was the story that was put out there. Cool, maybe that is the case. But at the same time, he come back and did nothing. Do you know what I mean? He deleted all of his social media posts on Instagram. Like, deleted every picture. Yeah, like, and then had 3 months off to get his head straight, apparently. Come back and did nothing. And it's like, paid 72 million quid for him. He's on 300 grand a week. Like, and I know it's not your money or anyone else's money, but when you've got a player that is that high profile, that was supposed to be coming in to be a big piece of the pie, yeah, and to elevate you into like title charge, and he's costing the club that much money. You better have binning him, mate. Yeah, just bin him. Get 30, 40 million quid back for him and just see you later. Yeah, and the problem is there's too many fans that are emotionally invested in individual players, like Martial, like Pogba's, like Sancho's. Same at every football club. They rep the player more than they rep the club. Yeah, because then they can sit and banter. So Jadon Sancho, for example, anytime anyone mentions Jadon Sancho from the Arsenal fan base mentions him, yeah, but what about Pepe? Yeah, now it's a banter thing. Yeah, and that is all it is, mate.
Even within the Man United fan base. Now, I know you're not the biggest fan of Bruno and Rashford. I know you don't, but that's because you don't like them. There are a lot of Man United fans who hate on those two because they have this weird, especially as some of them are grown men, there is this weird love they have for Martial and Pogba and Sancho. Now, for me, I find it, my love is Man United, so I want us to win. So I much prefer the stylistic view and the way he plays of Paul Pogba compared to Bruno. But I prefer what Bruno has done for Man United because he individually has delivered more than Pogba did. And that's what I want. And if you can bring me in a player that starts in front of Pogba, that is more consistent and delivers more than he does, then I would advocate Pogba being dropped. I have no...
That's a perfect way of putting it, because in an Arsenal sense, Mesut Ozil was supposed to be the talismanic figure, coming in superstar, but in reality, it was Aaron Ramsey that actually delivered. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and Ramsey won us 2 FA Cups, scoring the winner in 2 FA Cup finals. Yes, I know Ozil played in one of them, but maybe he played in both of them.
Yeah,
no,
but
the season after.
Yeah, but this is the thing. You need to be like, I'm not emotional about the players. I'm emotional about the club, and I'll defend players when I think people like today. I tweeted something about PSG's interest in Rashford, and of course they're interested. Rashford is one of the best inside forwards in the world. Now, he may not be the best, but he's one of the best. He's in the top 5, top 6 on that left-hand side in the world. So, of course, the biggest clubs are going to be interested, especially if you're losing Neymar and Mbappe, who are both better than him. You start going down the list. Of course, he's on that list. And I get responses from people saying, Terry, why are you so panicked about losing Rashford and acting like we're losing Pete Messi? I literally, and you know, all I said was, we've got to get him tied down to his new deal and stop all this talk. Like, where did I mention Messi? Where did I say he was the greatest player ever of all time? Like, why are you being so over the top? And that's the bit that gets to me about Man United fans. The same people that will be like, let's give Pogba, let's sign him, let's give him one more go, guys, are the same people that will call Rashford a scrub. And it makes no sense to me. Like, one has delivered for the club. The other one has forced the move away twice, right? And it's nothing to do with their behavior. It's all to do with their own feelings around, I want to be right. So there are people that are so desperate for Sancho to succeed, not because it means Man United succeed, but it means they can say, I was right about the player.
My player, yeah.
That for me is it's narcissism and mental illness. That's what it boils down to. Like, yeah, it's nice when you get a prediction right. It's not great when you get one wrong. But at the end of the day,
you get put in the mud, didn't you, Tell?
Yeah, exactly. I've been in the mud. I've been seen as right. For me, it's become strange now that people, just for people to appear right or less wrong, they attack their own kind of willy-nilly. It's very, very strange to me.
But that's social media for you, Terry, and that's social media is a reflection of society. Yeah, like if you speak the truth, you get shut down. So I'll give an example. When I'm sitting on an Instagram reel from 2 months ago saying sack Arteta, yeah, this is the 3rd full season he's not won anything. That is the longest trophy drought in a decade. Yeah, he's done £500 million, and we've only just finished above Emery's full season. That's had nearly 1 million views, that Insta reel. And it is thousands and thousands of people just going, dickhead, toxic, because they've got no argument against factual information. So when you're putting out factual information, Rashford's actually delivered at Man United, Sancho hasn't, or Pogba didn't, and forced to move away, people don't want to hear it. Yeah, they just want to shut it down and dismiss it and call you a name or like use something else. And that's how it is. That's life though, man. And that filters into social media. You just got to laugh at it because facts don't care about feelings, mate. The facts don't change on any subject you talk about. If it's factual, it is factual. Rashford has done more at Man United than other players, including Sancho.
But equally on top of that, I want more consistency from him. I want him to repeat it again this year or I'll criticize him. And if we could sign Mbappe tomorrow, but it meant Rashford gets dropped, I wouldn't care. I don't believe in it. It's all about my team, my team being better and setting the same standards for everybody, as opposed to sort of picking and choosing who gets, who you give the standards to and who you don't, and moving goalposts and not being consistent. It's very, very strange.
Do you like that comment in the chat from Hugh? It's a fact we should sack Arteta, question mark. Try again. Where did I say it was a fact that we should sack Arteta? What is a fact is it's 3 years without a trophy, the longest in a decade at Arsenal, and he's done £500 million by the end of last season. That is factual information. Yeah, it's then my opinion to sack him. Where did I say it was fact? And this is what people hear, just a tiny little piece, and make a whole new story out of it. It's funny. It is funny.
Yeah, exactly. And but this is the thing with people who don't do the facts thing. So I saw someone tweet earlier on today. Until Bruno has a top class performance in a final, I'll never rate him. But this is the problem with people that say things like this. If he has a top class performance in a final, you move the goalpost again. And that's
he's only done it once. It was fluke.
Yeah. Why did he? Yeah, but it took him his 4th attempt in a final. He didn't do it on I remember when Rooney hadn't scored at World Cup, and all the England fans that hated on him were like, until he scores at a World Cup, I ain't rating him. Then he scored. And it was, but you should have done it in the previous ones. I know exactly what they're going to do before they do it.
It's like Harry Kane. If Harry Kane wins a trophy, but it's only one.
Yeah, no, exactly. They won't just go, you know what, bang, he delivered. Because one of the first things they said about Bruno was, until Bruno scores in a final, I don't want to know. The fact is, he captained us in a final to a final win over Newcastle, and he scored the only goal that we got in the 2-1 defeat in the FA Cup final, as an example. He scored in semi-finals for us, as an example. And the thing is,
however, ghost in the Europa League final.
He did.
So
the thing is, my point is that I don't. This is where the facts thing becomes weird. It's like I don't deny that. The difference is, for me, it's not. I'm not all or nothing. It's not until he performs in at least one final, he's crap. Because then when he does, you move the goalpost again. For me, it's like I look at the overall body of work, and it's like I judge all the footballers at my club based on the standards that the legends have set before. So the likes of Bruno and Rashford have done a decent job in recent years, goals and everything else. But until they start bringing in Prems and Champions Leagues, I'll never put them anywhere near. Someone asked me the other day, is De Gea a legend? I said, De Gea is like a hero, maybe. But when I look at what Alex Stepney did, Schmeichel did, Van der Sar did, he doesn't touch them yet. No matter what his ability comes to, it's the overall package. I just maintain that same standard for everybody.
But we get this about Podolski all the time. Oh, Podolski, what a legend. What, because he jumped in the crowd at White Hart Lane? Right, do me a favour. He's a cult hero, maybe. But
Jess was saying there was an Arsenal fan the other day that was saying I think her kids, who were fairly young, I think in their like early mid-teens, that don't remember Arsenal being a good team, were in tears that Xhaka was leaving, because for them, Xhaka's been one of their best players, because they don't remember Arsenal being amazing.
Yeah, you know what, Terry, right? One of my pals, big up my boy Jay. His dad's out here at the minute. He's got a gaff around the corner, I picked him up from the airport the other day, and he goes every single home game. He's got a season ticket. He's had it for donkey's years, He's in his 60s, And he said to me, on the last day of the season against Wolves, there was grown men in their 60s singing and crying, "We want you to stay," to Granit Xhaka. And he was walking out, right? And everyone's kicking off, going, "Where are you going? Where are you going, John? Where are you going?" Because I ain't celebrating second. What are you talking about? Oh, but come on, it's been a great season, mate. Mate, the club's done. It's done. Because it's not just kids, Terry. Fully grown adults that have had tickets for 40 seasons are sitting there crying that Granit Xhaka's leaving. Loads of them. Wow. So it's not just kids.
Wow, that is a madness one to me.
Especially when you think that these people are older than me, right? So they've seen a generation of football before I was even born. So they've seen real bad times and they've seen some good times as well, right? And then they've seen all the good times along the way as well. To sit there and cry that you're seeing Granit Xhaka leaving when you've seen some of the greatest. You see Liam Brady play for this club. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's mad, mate. It's mad. Yeah, but this is where we're at, bro. This is where we're at.
This here says, from Hassan, says, Kane should learn from Van Persie, leave these bum clubs like Arsenal and go to teams like United or Chelsea, and you'll win straight away.
I agree. He should go, but I also think they should sell him, because Cesc Fabregas said this once when we sold Thierry Henry. The following season, we got in a title race in 2008, and then 2009, we got Champions League semi. We had to keep giving the ball to Henry before he left. Oh, got to give it to Thierry. Got to give it to Thierry. As soon as we sold Thierry Henry and he went to Barca, all of a sudden the shackles are off. You're playing with a bit more freedom and you play a bit better. I'm not saying that's necessarily going to happen with Tottenham, but they should bin him. They should say, cool, it's been a great run. You've been fantastic for us. Led to nothing, but we'll get you a statue and all that crap if you want one. And he should go, and he should want to go. But then all of a sudden, you'll see players in that team that suddenly start getting better because they don't have to, oh, I've got to pass it to Harry. Yeah, and they'll play better. Yeah, Kulusevski might be one of them.
Yeah, like, I think they should cash in on him. I really do think they should do it as a club. This is an interesting one. Sorry, we'll come back to that one in a minute. Hang on. This one here says, what about signing Pogba on a performance-based contract only? I still wouldn't do it. Less risk, you're right, but I still just wouldn't have him back at Man United now. You know,
he's going to go to Saudi. He's going to make stupid amounts of money because he's Paul Pogba. He's also Muslim as well. Yeah, and they're signing a lot of players that are Muslim, that of stature as well, and big names. Benzema, him. You know, there's a lot of big names going out there. I think he's the next. I think he goes Saudi. I don't know what club, but he'll definitely go out there, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout if Juve do sell him. Is James Ward-Prowse a top 6 player, and would you have him at your club as a backup player?
Nope. Again, this comes back to, can you do it on a big stage? Yeah, get James Ward-Prowse to take Beckham's free kick against Greece and you don't put it in the top corner. Yeah. And this is the thing. I had this conversation the other day about Declan Rice. As much as I rate Declan Rice, apart from a final, which he didn't play very well in, he's never had any pressure. And people said to me, I think it was on here, people were saying in the chat, yeah, but he was in a relegation battle. Don't matter. If he gets relegated, he's still a West Ham legend. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Same with Ward-Prowse. If he did get relegated, I ain't seen no fans turning on him saying you're supposed to be the talisman and blah, blah, blah. And he's a hero either way, so there's no pressure. Matt Letitia had this at Southampton back in the day. Yeah, Matt Letitia was a banging footballer, like one of the best, yeah?
It was.
No pressure.
Mate,
yeah,
I think
you have that pressure. Imagine, look how many, you probably remember, you're sitting in an English area, you probably remember that game where Beckham had to score that free kick or we weren't going to a World Cup.
No, I agree.
And he'd put every single other one across the crossbar or wide.
It's why when I saw Spurs fans a couple of years ago say to me that Harry Kane had already surpassed Rooney in the league because he had more goals. He'll surpass with Rooney. I said, well, until he's scoring them in title races, I don't care if he's got
Champions Leagues and stuff like that. Yeah,
you've got to deliver in the most.
Rooney scored in the Champions League final. I think he lost that one. Messi scored the header, didn't he? He did.
Wayne Rooney scored the Champions League final, won the Champions League, scored multiple goals in title, like in the crucial end of title winning.
That bicycle kick against City was a joke,
including the bicycle kick goal. He's also the only player, I believe, in English football history to have 2 man of the match performances in FA Cup finals. So when people talk about when did Rooney deliver
49 games and ended it on the, although it was a dive.
Yeah, well, he did it. He absolutely delivered. This is an interesting one. It says, Lee, have you heard of Partey being linked to Man United? Is that true?
I see this. I did a video on this yesterday. Like, if we sell him to Man United, I'm going to lose my shit, mate. I can't lie. I do not want him sold. Yeah, and everyone's speculating again. Oh, but it's because of these so-called allegations. How does anybody know this? You're just hyping because it's fashionable to hype and get Thomas Partey out because Rice is coming in. Like, the way Arsenal fans have just suddenly dismissed Thomas Partey. Oh, but he disappeared for the last 6 games. Well, so did Saka for the 2nd season running. Rewarded a new deal. So did Ramsdale. Rewarded a new deal. Oh, but Thomas Partey's 30. What, the footballers stop playing football at 30 then? And then I in my video, I compared it to Modric playing at 38. Yeah, and then again, people take that, oh, you're comparing Partey to Modric. No, I'm comparing the age. Like, they're totally different players. Modric is one of the greats. Thomas Partey ain't. But Thomas Partey at Arsenal is easily our best midfielder. Yeah, and if we get rid of him, mate, that's going to be mad. I can't lie. And if he goes to Man United, only Arsenal could then strengthen Man United and Chelsea in one transfer window. I don't want him going. I don't want him going anywhere, let alone Man United. Yeah, we need to keep him. Keep him one more season. Yeah, and then get rid of him if you want to get rid of him. You still get a little fee for him. Yeah, but you can't just be going, nah, let's get rid of him. No, I can't. I'm not having it. Yeah, and this is another thing. Sorry to cut you off. This is another thing. Oh, but he's always injured. No, he ain't. He played 33 times last season. Yeah, and he was sat on the bench for another 3 games. So he missed 2 games last season in the league. The 2 seasons before, granted, but one of them was when we signed him and he'd already played 3 or 4 games for Atletico. So he'd missed a load of games in the first season because we signed him on deadline day. So he'd already missed a 3, 4, 5 games maybe. Yeah, so like when you actually deep it, these are the same people that sit there and say, oh yeah, get rid of Tierney because he's injured. Tierney ain't been injured since last March. Yeah, that's 18 months. He's not been injured. Yeah, Tomiyasu been out for 229 days at Arsenal. And out of them 3 players, they want to keep Tommy, who's always injured. But Thomas Partey with 140 days out injured and Tierney with 114 out injured, they want to bin. Makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been Googling it while I'm seeing the links there. I hadn't seen it up until someone put that, until Satch.
It wouldn't surprise me, though. It would not surprise me one bit if we sold him.
Really? Do you think Arsenal would be that stupid as to strengthen Man United? That, listen, I do think Casemiro is better than Thomas Partey, but I said all along, Partey is a very good footballer.
You can play
you think Arsenal would be stupid enough to sell him to Man United?
Well, we've got a history. We have. I know we're kind of turning the tide a little bit, yeah, but it wouldn't surprise me. There's so many strong links of this guy leaving this football club. Yeah, and I just don't get it. Like, how can you go from everyone saying this is the greatest DM in the league? He's better than Casemiro, he's better than Rodri. Nobody was putting Rice in the equation, by the way. Yeah, now all of a sudden we're signing Rice. I'll get rid of him. Get rid of him. He's always injured. He's 30. Yeah, he disappeared for 6. What? You weren't saying that all season. You were saying he was the best DM in the league and he was great and he was this. And 6 games out of the 33 that he played, what, are you judging him on the 6 games, not the other 27? Like, where he was really, really good. Like, and easily our best player in midfield. Yeah, without Thomas Partey in our team, like as good as Odegaard was last season, he had a wicked season, yeah? Right, there you go, I praised Odegaard, woohoo, right? But as good as Odegaard was, if you took Odegaard out of our team, we'd still create and score goals. If you take Thomas Partey out of our team, we look all over the place. Yeah, and I'm not saying that we should just keep him based off of that, but when you've not got any adequate backup for him, then you can't be getting rid of him. We were supposed to be having Rice and Partey together. So if we are going to get rid of him, go and sign Caicedo, and that's cool. If we're not, and we're going to sign Lavia, for example, well, I'm sorry, no, mate, that's a downgrade straight away. Lavia is going to be good. He is going to be good. Yeah, but Caicedo's ready now to play for Arsenal. Lavia's not. Lavia's good to come on for 10, 15 games a season.
Well, it's what this here says. It goes, should be keeping him and adding Caicedo and Lavia. I mean, maybe not both, but like adding at least one of them.
But then if you keep, that's a good comment, to be fair, because if you did go and buy both, Lavia will cost, what, 45, 50? Caicedo's 80, that's 130. Well, if we hadn't brought Havertz, there's half the money. We could have already got one in already. Yeah, and then you keep Thomas Partey, you nurture Lavia, you can rotate Partey so he's less injury prone. Yeah, you don't have to force him to play games when he's in the red zone and all of that rubbish. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Because let's not forget it, right? People say that he's always injured and that. Let's not forget, the manager pushed him back on the pitch against Tottenham when he was injured. And Tottenham scored. Yeah, he literally pushed him back on the pitch when he was saying, no, I'm injured. I've got to come off, mate. So, no, you don't know. I don't know what's going on with Thomas Partey. But if we sell him, mate, oh, my days. Yeah, the amount of money that we're being tipped to sell him for is disgraceful.
Yeah, I can't see Man United doing it. I can't see that deal happening. But if it was to happen, I understand moving on from a player if it's seen as, I think the players we're bringing in over the next 2 to 3 years will take us to another level. I understand sacrificing, stepping backwards to move forward. I get all the logic. But what wouldn't make sense is to let him go and join a rival in this. He has to leave the Premier League. This year says Modric doesn't have an injury record. Partey has.
Well, his injury record's only happened since he got to Arsenal because he was never injured at LA. So maybe it's that league. Maybe that league, you stay fit all season. I don't know. There's a lot of injuries from players that have never been injured. And Declan Rice is very rarely injured. I guarantee he gets an injury this season. I guarantee it.
Well, we've taken your doctor. So listen, we've got enough injury problems.
I've seen that. I've never seen so many people in meltdown about a doctor.
I found it so weird. And Man United fans celebrating it. I was like, ooh,
that's crazy. This is where our clubs are at, Terry.
Unless it's Doctor Strange. Why it don't matter to me. Lee, I agree. We need to keep Thomas Partey in a major way. Will we sign Caicedo?
He's going Chelsea, man. Yeah, he's the Kante, the baby Kante. That's what he is. He's the Kante regen, mate. He's gonna, him and Enzo together is gonna be mad as well. I can't lie. Yeah, and Nkunku in front. That's a decent trio. I can't lie. Yeah, whether it leads to anything remains to be seen because they need other players in. But if they get Caicedo, which I think they will, I think that's going to happen. And I think they'll probably end up doing player plus cash. Maybe throw you a go there, plus a bit of cash, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, we should have been all over Caicedo, man. Caicedo and Rice is an upgrade on Xhaka and Partey. Yeah, Havertz and Rice is not.
The Havertz one is such an interesting piece of business. I still same with Man United getting Mount. My head's still not around it completely. I'm intrigued. This is Lee. If Partey leaves, who would you choose, Tchouamenu or Caicedo? I'd be disappointed if they bought Lavia for Partey. So who would you prefer, Tchouamenu or Caicedo?
They're both ballers. I can't lie. That's a tough question, man. Just go and buy them both. If you want to act like a big club and want to win something, go and buy them both. Yeah, if you're actually deep here, right? For the money that we've spent on Rice and Havertz, we could have got them both. Could have got them both. They're roughly around 80 million each.
Would you rather Caicedo?
I'd take Caicedo based on the fact he's done it in the Premier League before, but Tchouameni is a baller.
If you could get Tchouameni and Caicedo, would you get rid of Rice? Have them both?
No, well, keep him and Partey. Get all four of them. Get rid of the rest of the midfield. Lokonga, El Neni, Havertz. Just get rid of them all. Yeah, just get rid of the rest of them.
That would be a mad midfield. It sounds like a mad midfield. This year says 10-2 incoming in the Champions League. No, I don't think that'll happen to you this year. I don't think that'll happen again.
I actually had this conversation with, I'm not going to say who, but he does do streams and that, and he said, if we get into the quarterfinals of the Champions League, lose to Madrid, come second or third in the league, second, say, Man City, don't win any of the domestic cups, it'd be, but we lost to Madrid and we lost to City, so it don't matter, we're progressing. And it's true, I can see it coming. If we don't win anything this season, he's got to go. He's got to go. He should be gone anyway.
This is big up Lee. Big up Terry. Big up to the real one, Lee. I'm class of 82. Likely. Why are fans these days? Why fans these days are spineless and have a loser mentality? Why do you think it is?
It's only English clubs, mate. Yeah, I see PSG the ultras putting out a statement saying Lucas Hernandez is not welcome at PSG, and you will find out soon exactly how. After they signed him yesterday, but his dad played for Marseille. And he was born in Marseille. So they have that rivalry, didn't they? Yeah. So they were like, no, we're not happy with this. Yeah. This is a team, by the way, that have won 21 trophies in 9 years. Yeah. They've signed a load of players. They're not happy with that signing. Whereas we go and sign Havertz that nobody wanted. Nobody said, let's go and sign Kai Havertz at the end of the season, did they? Now we've got him. Just back the player. And it's only English clubs, mate. And the reason it's only the English clubs is because the mainstream media are in the back pocket of most of these football clubs. Yeah, and they use them as a tool and a way to put out the narrative and to spin narratives. In Spain, you don't get that. Italy and France, you don't get that. Germany, you don't get that. You very rarely hear from the hierarchy in English football clubs. Yeah, whereas Florentino Perez speaks every week. Yeah, like PSG's people speak every week. Oliver Kahn and Salihamidzic, when they were at Bayern, they speak every week. Yeah, and the standards come from there. And the reason the standards come from there is because the fans keep the standards up. Yeah, when you don't hear from your owner or your hierarchy and you're just peddling out PR, all of a sudden the fans buy into emotional attraction to a player or a club or philosophy or whatever, processes, phases and that. All of a sudden you're just lowering it and lowering it. Look at Tottenham. They put their price up 20% for a ticket. 20%. And they're still going to go running down there if Harry Kane signs. It's crazy. They should be rioting.
Do you know what it comes down to me? I don't think... It's ended up sounding like loser mentality for a lot of people, but that isn't. It's ended up at that point, but that isn't why we're there. Because people want to be losers, or they enjoy losing, or they think it's okay. It's because everybody's always trying to be the smartest person in the room. Social media has made everybody try to. You'll see someone like Russell Brand, whoever you agree with his politics or not. When you listen to him talk, a highly intelligent person. Everybody sort of will listen to a podcast, or there'll be a kind of a personality that goes on to debate shows, and everybody's like, "Oh, I'm smarter than that person." Everybody wants to be the smartest person in the room, and what is created is a lot of what I refer to as intellectual dishonesty from people. So what ends up happening in, rather than the pursuit of the truth or the maintaining of a standard, i.e., winning trophies being a big barometer, not the only barometer, but a big barometer in the size of a football club or the success of a football player's career, people use their personal beliefs or feelings more so than beliefs to push the agendas. The problem is when you try to be the smartest person in the room, win every single debate, never concede that you've made mistakes, and always move the goalpost to ensure you come out as the winner, is you eventually create a situation which looks like a losing mentality. An example would be for Arsenal. For the years that I saw Arsenal fans pretend, by the way, intellectually dishonest, pretend just to win the argument to seem the smartest, that yes, we only came third on average in those great races where Fergie, Wenger, Jose, whatever else. We only come third quite a lot. But our net spend was so much better than yours, and our wage bill was only the fourth highest in the league. By that default, we actually were the best team, even though we didn't win. That kind of intellectual dishonesty has led to a loser mentality, because everybody wants to. It isn't even about. It's about just looking the smartest in an argument and having the best comeback, rather than just saying, actually, the team that won were the best. The team that comes third were third best. And we've lost that now in football. Everybody wants to be the smartest.
The problem is, Terry, that's only happening in English football clubs. Like when Real Madrid lose a football match, just go on their Twitter page and read all the comments. Yeah, and they've probably got the biggest global fan base on the planet. Them and Barcelona, maybe. Yeah, and if you go and read all of the overseas comments from Real Madrid fans, they're all on the same page as the ones that go into the games or live in Spain. Yeah, whereas that don't happen with English clubs. Yeah, because you have people overseas. I'm not just saying overseas. It does happen in English fans as well, that buy into this. Oh, I just want to get along with everybody. If that's the fashionable thing, I'll go with that. Yeah, Kai Havertz, perfect example. Nobody wanted him. Everyone lost their shit for a couple of days. As soon as he signed, we're back him. He was misunderstood at Chelsea, and now it's a whole hype train again. And this is why English football clubs pull everyone's pants down. Arsenal put the price up 4% again after putting it up 4% last year. They've now also made it so that you can't just hand your season ticket to a family member and they can go and stand on your seat. You have to go on ticket exchange and do it that way. Because if, say, for example, my mate's dad gives him his ticket, he can't go for a game. A steward comes around, taps on his shoulder, excuse me, you got any ID? Now his season ticket's revoked. They've also dropped the amount of games at Arsenal on your season ticket, and you have to go to at least 17, I think, games that season to renew it next season. Yeah, what's that all about? Yeah, Tottenham have put them up 20%. Like, it's mad. And this all happens because when they see millions of fans online sitting there hyping up everything, not really putting any pressure on, my club's better than your club, my winger's better than your winger. Whilst that's all great, all it's doing is seeing the football club are going, well, this lot are all happy. Yeah, we'll put the price up again. That Adidas home shirt this season's gone up 15% from last season. You know, people say, well, that's on Adidas. Well, cool. Can't Arsenal say, no, come on, have a bit of...
Yeah, no, I totally get it. I really, really do. This here says Russell Brand uses big words to sound intelligent, like Terry brings on Lee to look like a genius. Yeah.
I don't like Russell Brand, but when I listen to what he says, most of the time he's pretty much spot on with what he's saying.
You know what's funny about Russell Brand is a few years ago he went very, very far left in terms of his opinions. What I like about him now is he's still very left-leaning, but he listens to people that have very... he did a debate years ago now with Joe Rogan about hunting, and just listening to two grown-ups have completely differing views but have a sensible conversation was amazing, because that's missing nowadays. That's just gone. Big up
quickly, yeah.
No worries, mate. Big up Terry and Lee. We'll come back to that one in a second because it's a question.
Yeah, 1 sec.
Everything sounds perfect, but your Arsenal, Lee, is what Jason says here. Thank you, Jason. This here says Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs, top scorers Rooney, Rush, Henry, Lampard, Kane. Kane is the odd one out. No trophies. Leave Spurs now. You're spot on, mate. You're absolutely spot on. This here says a big up Terry and Lee. Arsenal has to get closer to City next season. We should keep Partey, and we're looking good. Partey and Rice equal jollof midfield. Thank you for that super chat, my friend. It means a great deal to us. Did you know that less than half the people in the US know the difference between fact and opinion? It tells you everything you need to know right there. Well, it's why this show is called Straight Facts. It's literally taking the piss out of people that give an opinion and say that it's a fact. It's why I named the show that. It really it's the long and the short of it. These Arsenal fans grew up with top four as a trophy. And that's what I mean there by the intellectual dishonesty. You know, people want to, rather than people just admitting they're wrong or their team ain't very good or their team failed, they'll try and find a very smart way of twisting the narrative, misrepresenting the facts to look good. And half the time now, it's not even about believing in what they're saying. It's how can I come back with an answer that I can like sort of stumble bum somebody with, stop them from responding, make them feel silly and look better. And the problem is once they, and then people see it and go, and then everybody, and then it catches on, and then it becomes like it's a weird myth, and then it becomes a fact by default because everybody's using it. It's a very weird world we live in sometimes now. Is Ashley Cole the best left back in the Premier League era? He's one. He could be. You've got Dennis Irwin in that conversation, Patrice Evra in that conversation. But yeah, Ashley Cole would probably get on top of most people's list, my friend. This
Definitely
question,
Ashley Cole, definitely.
Yeah,
Dennis Irwin was close though; he was quality.
Considering he was a right back,
mate, he was so good taking free kicks left or right foot. You didn't know which foot was the best.
Crazy. Lee, what's your opinion on Pochettino's interview? He spoke very well and has made it clear what he expects and what must happen.
No process is there, is there? Yeah, I have to deliver trophies, otherwise it's going to be me losing my job. Yeah, none of this process, phases, projects. So we'll see. It talks cheap, mate. Yeah, and a lot of these managers don't believe half the crap they come out with. Yeah, they're just saying what will get the fans on side. And I'm not saying that's the case with him, but he is up against it. He's at a team that haven't won a league for 6 years. And he's at a team that are rivals, sort of, with Tottenham. There's this weird rivalry between them. So yeah, he's up against it because he was the ex-manager from Tottenham. So he's got to deliver, mate. He's got to deliver. He has to win something. Yeah, the amount of money they've spent on that squad, he's now been tasked to come in, add a few more, get rid of these. He's got to win. He's got to win something, mate. And if he don't, he's getting sacked.
Bang on. Your show is my favorite by far, Terry. The only negative thing about it is Lee Dunner. Well, that's not true. It wouldn't be the same without Lee. It's part and parcel.
If it's that negative, mate, why have you just donated Norwegian kroner to the chat and watched the whole thing? If it's that negative, mate, go outside and be more positive. I don't know. Run around and play Ring of Roses or something.
This here says, would you call Olympic silver medalists and bronze? What would you call silver and bronze medalists? First and second loser? If yes, why? If no, why? Just curious.
Yeah, 100%. If you haven't won, like it's the same in Formula One. First, second, and third. No, mate. You win or you've lost. That's it. That's it. You win or you lose. Yeah, and that is the same in any sport. Doesn't matter whether there's so Wimbledon's on at the minute. Yeah, there's only going to be one winner for the men's and one for the women's. That's it. Yeah. The rest are lost.
I can understand that. I don't necessarily refer to them as first and second loser, but yeah, I mean, essentially it amounts to the same thing. It really
people
does.
just don't like the way I say, and I'm not saying he did, but a lot of people just don't like the fact that second place isn't an achievement to me. Second, we finished second when Leicester won the league. Yeah, and that was deemed not good enough, so I was marching down the Hornsey Road to get Wenger out. Do you know what I mean? Now, fast forward all these years later, second's now a great achievement. No, come on.
I think it all depends on, again, with the Olympics question, I think it all depends on the expectations. If you're someone that goes into an event and you're expected to maybe get a top 10 finish and you pull in a silver medal for your country because the medals table counts, like the nation that has the most medals at the end of the tournament wins by nation. So every silver and bronze you add to it helps. Golds are better, but they help.
What does the nation with the most medals at the end win? Nothing.
Yeah, but
they just get the adulation.
Yeah, but that's what they're
irrelevant.
Well, no, but it isn't irrelevant. So when I used to go to the World Championships and stuff as a part of Team GB, what you wanted, part of individuals wanted to win their events, but your nation wanted to be the most successful team there. So if you could, every medal helped in terms of doing that. Every medal helped. So I'd rather my fellow Brit get a bronze then come fifth because it helped everybody. But I do get the logic there.
Yeah, but it helps everybody for what? You don't get anything apart from being told, yeah, well done. Your country got the most medals, which is irrelevant. How many winners' medals do you get?
Yes, but
they should do it on winners' medals, not total medals.
Maybe they could change it, but then still, everybody would still want to win it because want to be the best nation.
If Usain Bolt came second, do you think he'd be happy with that?
No, but that isn't what I'm suggesting. But my point, but that's because he'd be expected to win. So, like I've said, I think
he'd be expected to win because he's put the graft in and he's got the talent and he's dedicated.
Yeah, exactly. So I said sometimes coming second and third, you're losing if you're a favourite. For someone that isn't even expected to make top 10 and you have a brilliant tournament and pick up a silver medal, I think there's something to be proud of within that because you've superseded the expectations of your ability in individual sports, that is. But I do get where you're coming from. This year says, big up Terry and Lee. Question, do you think Real Madrid, Perez would let Tchouamenu leave this season knowing that Mudryk and Kroos are leaving next summer?
He ain't going anywhere. I know Florentino Perez does waffle at times. Yeah, but he's already said he ain't going. He said he ain't sending. Why would he? He's going to have Bellingham, Tchouameni and Camavinga as a trio as of next season, not this season, the following season. He ain't going anywhere.
It's crazy good, isn't it? It's crazy good. Thank you very much.
And when you think how much they paid for them free, they paid, I think, 25-30 million for Camavinga. Yeah, and he's already completed the whole set in Spanish football and European football. The only thing he ain't won is a World Cup. He's won everything else. It's mad, isn't it? He's like 20-odd years old.
This says toxic positivity. Arsenal fans are simps. This year says people tuning in to straight facts just for lies to be told. Muppets. Well, there's no lies. There's no lies being told on this show. Just opinions. That's the whole point of the show, my friend. It's opinions based on headlines and stories that are circulating. That's literally the point of YouTubers. And this year says there was an interview with the finance expert on Red Men TV, and it was very interesting to hear that FSG, the American owners, do not like season ticket holders. They want them gone for the tourists.
Do you know what? That brings me back on to what I said about our season tickets. Right, and this is the way we're going in English football. So my mate's dad said to me that you have to go to 17 home games this season out of the 19 plus the cups. I think I think they've took the cups off this season. Well, either way, yeah, I think they've took the cups off. So you have to attend 17 out of 19 home games at Arsenal this season to be able to go again for your ticket, apparently. That's what he was saying, unless I've got it completely wrong. Right? So what they want, so last season, for example, my mate Jay, his dad would go to him, I can't go to that game, Jay. Do you want the ticket, mate? And you just stand in the season ticket and you could go in and that was fine. Yeah, this season, no, if you can't go, you either don't go and your seat remains empty, or you have to give it back to the club to go on ticket exchange. Yeah, you can't just give it to a family member anymore.
I totally agree. But what fans should do is call their clubs bluff. I personally don't believe there's enough tourists to fill it.
100% there is for our clubs.
100%. Okay. And if there is, the TV companies won't allow this to happen. They all think they would, but they won't. If you got rid of the diehards, every game would sound like Soccer Aid. That noise of Soccer Aid turned TV.
Fight and win. Fight and win.
So this is the thing. Football fans don't realize their power, but we'll roll over and have a
No, I disagree with that in some sense because the home games, for our clubs, the size of our football clubs, Terry, we've got millions of fans. Yeah, and
I understand what you're saying.
They could get a lot in, but the away fans for both our clubs are probably the best two in the league.
No, I understand that.
So the away ticket system is different to home ticket system.
But the point I'm making is that if Old Trafford was full of 65,000 tourists, they wouldn't know the songs, there wouldn't be the chanting, it would sound like Soccer Aid. The TV companies would be straight on the door to the Glazers saying this ain't happening.
I disagree.
The reason I don't disagree is I remember I met someone at BT Sport years ago who said the reason that Italian football fell off was all to do with a financial crisis in the country. Less people started going to games, and then people around the world started watching less because there's no atmosphere when watching it. When you lose the atmosphere of fans is a huge selling point. And one of the reasons that the Premier League sells very, very well abroad, they've done the TV companies around the world have done like polls and studies into this. The unique noise that the English football fans make, it's like there's something about it that sends it that gives a different feeling. They love it. So the fans are a key component for selling the TV rights. And this is what someone at BT Sport told me. This was 7 years ago. I was talking to him about this, and he said fans don't realize their power in the game. I've spoke about this many times. The fans just don't want to hear it. Fans just think, oh, there's nothing I can do. But there we go. Just in the interest of time, I just want to move on through some more.
I've got about 15 minutes, mate. I can go in about 15, yeah.
This here says, well, this brings us on to this one, which is interesting. Sorry, Arsenal wants to get rid of Partey so they can go in for Frankie de Jong. Tchouamenu is a smokescreen. Wait and see.
I don't know about that. Good player. They're both good players, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Listen, I hope we do some more business because we have got rid of Xhaka. Obviously, that sent everyone into meltdown. We could be getting rid of Partey. Lokonga's likely to go. Balogun or Eddie or both are going to go. I still think we need a striker. I'd keep Balogun. I'd bin Eddie. Keep Balogun. Go and buy a striker. Put a bid in for Kane. Put a bid in for Tony. Yeah, and people go, oh, but Tony's he's banned. And he can still train. Yeah, you can get him ready for January. Yeah, and we've got Trossard, we've got Jesus, Martinelli. They can all play up front. Havertz, even though I don't rate him, can play up front. So, but I think we need a 20 goal a season banger up front. I think we need a right winger, but we won't do that because we've signed Reece up to a new deal. And I still think we need another midfielder. Yeah, and I don't see it being Frankie de Jong. I can't lie. Yeah, we need more of a combative midfielder, like a destroyer. And if we get rid of Thomas Partey, we need two.
I hear you on that. This here says, hi, Terry and Lee. Are you happy with Timber? As an Ajax fan, I can tell you he is great for you guys. A shame he didn't go to United. But Timber, both Timber and Rice are reported as done. They're just waiting for the announcements, essentially. Why do you think so many Arsenal fans are like, not panicking, that's probably the wrong word for it, but like so stressed online about the announcements?
Because they're impatient. We're all impatient. And the problem is, like years ago, Terry, before social media, we used to have to wait for CFAX to update us. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, Arsenal has signed Dennis Bergkamp. I'll never forget seeing that on CFAX. Like, oh my days. Like Dennis Bergkamp, like you're chatting rubbish, mate. Yeah. But now you've got so many journalists out there, young aspiring journalists out there putting out transfer news. All these ITKs pretending they got information. Yeah, and then we got told by Ornstein and by Fabrizio, two of the biggest ones out there in terms of following, that they're done. They're done deals. So now it's, why haven't Arsenal announced it yet? Why haven't they announced it? They're done deals. They've had their medicals. They've passed their medicals. Everything's done. The photo shoots are done. But then somebody then leaks out the Havertz one, like, because everyone's impatient. Yeah, and the reason everyone's impatient is because we get all the information just like that. We don't have to wait for it anymore. Yeah, we know whether a player's on a plane. People are tracking them. Yeah, we know whether the player's at an airport waiting for it. So I'm saying, yeah, so everyone's impatient. But I do think that Arsenal and Man United, they do long out these transfers. They do long them out. Yeah, like Man United, when they agree a fee with somebody, normally they tweet it out saying they've agreed a fee with the club, don't they? Yeah, and like blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but in the last 18 months or so, they have been so long announcing a transfer. Look how long it took to announce Mason Mount. He did his goodbye thing a month before.
Do you know what, though? I do think, though, I remember when we did the Pog video, I remember that the video with Stormzy came out at like 1, 2 in the morning. And everybody was like, oh, I can't believe it took so long. But then when you saw the music video, his hair in it was from 3 weeks earlier.
Yeah.
And it's just sometimes a case of these things can be done. And it's just the club ain't ready to. There's a reason the club isn't ready to announce it yet. And I almost feel like I love the way transfer news comes out. But the way it's all done now with the Ornstein bombs, the Ben Jacobs daggers, the Fabrizio here he goes. You know, it reminds me a little bit of
Fabrizio tap-ins, that's what they call him, innit?
Strangely, he gets so much.
It's weird, isn't it? He gets mad hate, mate.
It's crazy. It's crazy to hate.
But do you know what though? Like I do kind of understand where people come from here, right? Because we all know Declan Rice is an Arsenal player. So why, when they've done the photo shoot, when they've done the medical and it's passed, Sky Sports are making up this, oh, we're waiting for the lawyers and all that. Shut up, man. It's been done for weeks. Declan Rice is sat on a beach somewhere sunning himself. He knows he's an Arsenal player. It's done. West Ham know that it's done. We all know it's done. It's legally binding. It's done. We all know this. But I feel like these clubs, some of them, I feel like they deliberately long it out. Yeah, just long it out. Yeah, and these journos, some of them, I don't know. So like some of the stuff people put towards some of them, I'm like, I can kind of see why you've got to that. Like, oh yeah, you're working for the clubs. You're paid to promote certain player. I do kind of see it because there's no reason for Arsenal not to have announced Declan Rice yet, or at least Timber. Yeah, let's say Declan Rice is still going through the lawyer side. Let's say that's true. Yeah, why ain't Timber been announced? Because that's not.
Yeah.
We've known for over a week he's an Arsenal player. You know, Mason Mount did his interview, his farewell 1 month before he was announced.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it was fully done at that. Yeah, he had his hair bleached. That was early June. It was announced early July. I'm not saying it was a fully done deal by then. Yeah, and I think he's stupid as well, right? Because what he should have done is when he knew it was being announced the next day, he should have gone home, sat in his living room or his back garden or somewhere and re-recorded that. Yeah, because like he should. No, I'm being serious. He should have just out of respect for Chelsea.
That's where, right? I know we sometimes have a go at our clubs for PR, but that was bad PR because it looked, because what that does, it looks like you don't care.
Yeah, it's almost like whatever.
And do you know what? Maybe when he
recorded it, would have took him 2 minutes to re-record it.
And maybe when he maybe when he recorded it, they thought it was about to happen. But as you say, re-record it, get it done.
Re-record it. It takes 2 minutes. Your hair's the same color. Blah blah blah. Yeah, and then I've seen so many Chelsea fans get the saying that he called he was in the dressing room or saying after 24 hours of being there and called it home. I'm home or so. What do you expect him to say? Like, it is his home now. That's his workplace.
The thing is as well is, one, of course he's going to say that. I don't go, oh my God. What I was told though, and Chelsea fans will say, no, Portsmouth. I was told by someone really credible, really credible about 6 weeks ago that yes, he grew up and he liked Portsmouth, but his dad was a Man United fan and he loved Man United as a kid as well. Loved it. And I was asked not to say anything. Said, please don't say anything. Blah, 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 blah. Have you seen the clip that came out of him and his dad sitting in the Man United dressing room?
Yeah.
And it's like you can. There is an element there of like this guy clearly has an affinity with Man United, and that's cool. That's nice. That's great. But even though still for me though, it's like that's great. That's cute. But unless you deliver for my football club, I couldn't give a damn that you and your dad.
But this is the problem, Terry. If people didn't get so emotionally invested in a particular footballer, they wouldn't be in such meltdown when he leaves the football club. Do you know what I mean?
Have you seen how angry Johnny Minerals has been this week?
I love him. I think he's quality. He's so funny, man.
I saw this one video.
No, but do you know what? He has a point to some degree. Yeah, like they've got rid of pretty much all of their Champions League winning team.
A lot of them, yeah.
I think there's only 3 left. So I do get it. I get why he's angry, but at the same time, you've got to look at the fans that are the fans and Bowley, yeah, because they're both culpable, yeah. And I get why he's angry, but he's fucking hilarious, I swear. Yeah, to get rid of all of their players just like that have won them some big trophy inside 2 seasons is insane.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting indeed. This is the clip I want to play you. Is
it one of mine?
No. This is of Minerals. But this is someone telling him that Man United fans are going to love him, and him having that realization.
So I get my popcorn
of him while the Stretford end serenades him. Fucking hell, man! Fucking hell! You know what it is like? He's going to be loved at United. Yeah, he's going to fucking loved it.
He just goes off. He just goes off.
Fucking brilliant. He is brilliant. No, but you know what? I get it.
Angrier.
I get it. He likes Mason Mount. Mason Mount's grown up through the football club. It's like Bukayo Saka. If Bukayo Saka leaves and goes to Man United, yeah, you watch Arsenal fans do exactly the same. After they've hyped him up. Yeah, and he's great. There'll be a lot of them that will be saying he's a snake, but then there'll be a lot of them that are fuming that we've allowed him to leave. Yeah, so I get it. Like when you've seen a player grow up through your academy from the age of 6 and go on and win everything, like I do get it. But ultimately, he ain't that good. It's not like it's not like they've just lost a prime fucking R9, is it? Prime Lampard.
I hear you on that. This question for you here says, Lee, thoughts on Levi Colwill?
Massively overrated.
Really?
He's a good player. He is a very good player. Yeah, but let's just have it right. See, I sound like Minerals now, don't I? Let's just have it right. He is mad overrated. Yeah, people are talking like he's like the second coming of John Terry. He's not. He may go on to be that in the next 4, 5, 6 years, but He's had one season. Like, slow down. Yeah, I remember when Michu played for Swansea. Yeah, where did he end up 2 years later? Or a year later? He was in the 4th tier of Spanish football after being the Premier League's top goal scorer or second top goal scorer. So, like, let's just slow down. And this is the problem we have in the English game, is players get put on a pedestal way too quick. Dele Alli, another one. Yeah, valued at around 100 million. Oh, he's going to be the next big thing. As soon as you start putting hype and pressure and praise on these players after doing nothing and achieving nothing in the game, yeah, all of a sudden they believe their own hype. And then their performances dip. And only the strong ones get through that and actually continue to go on the trajectory to be great. Yeah, he may go on to be great. He's English. He's playing for Chelsea. He's had a good first season, last season, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But now he's playing for Chelsea. The pressure's different. You've got to deliver, mate. Yeah, and we'll see how good he is this season. Yeah, because it's all well and good playing for another club that don't have any pressure on him and everyone lauds him up for playing sexy football. Yeah, but now he's got to win something, mate.
I hear you on that. This here says a charity shield, Arsenal selling £100 lowest. Definitely wants season ticket holders. Lower make 2 to 3 times the money. Sky will add the crowd noise.
Sky do turn the crowd noise up 1 billion%, mate. They do. They turn the crowd noise up. I know they do. BT Sport do it as well. Yeah, and then for 100 quid. Listen, to be fair, 100 quid cheapest ticket for a day out at Wembley to see your football club, even though I don't class that as a major honour. It's a charity game. It's a glorified soccer aid, let's be real. Yeah, but if you want to go and watch Beyonce or Drake and have a day out at Wembley, it's going to be about the same money, isn't it?
Mm.
So I kind of get it, yeah. But at the same time, like, it's not an FA Cup final; it's a community game, like a charity game. But
yeah,
listen,
no, I hear what that. This is a Josh called season ticket holders legacy fans. Yeah, I remember he did that. Very true. Terry, would you bring expressions on straight facts? You know them way there, fam. Of course, I'd have expressions on the show.
Big up X, man. He's fucking funny.
Lee, why do you look like pumpkins? Lee, why are you made of hug?
This is this weird guy that was stalking you for a while. Yeah, this is this weird guy.
Become 6-pack, get wife, Safe can marry Shakira, Safe works as a support, Shakira will marry Safe fasts.
Mate, get off the internet and go and learn how to construct a sentence. Like, real talk. That 10 quid you just put in, you could have done an online English course, mate. Real talk. What is that? What did he just say? Can somebody decipher that?
He wants you to have he wants you to get a 6-pack so that he can marry Shakira.
How does he know I haven't?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe he's stalking me after he stalked you. I don't know.
Oh, not us lying, James says from earlier. Sorry, I didn't see that next chat that came in. If Usain Bolt was winning the 100-meter sprint by a margin until the 90th, celebrated, tripped over his shoe and came second, would he have bottled it?
Facts, 100%.
I like Lee. He has standards, but clubs don't, especially Arsenal fans. Process FC, I want a title challenge or Eric out. I agree with that. I get where you're coming from. What summer signings do you think delivers the most?
What, in terms of the ones that happened?
Yeah.
I think Pau Torres at Aston Villa is a bargain. Yeah, that is a proper bargain. I think they're going for like 20 odd million. Like, that's a decent defender. Maddison, obviously everyone knows I love Madders. Shame he plays for that lot now. I think Timber, depending on whether he gets game time, could be a bargain. It's just where he's going to play. Is he going to drop Ben White out the team? I don't know. Ben White was quality last season, so I don't know. Manor Solomon on a free, he's not a bad player. Yeah, that's not a bad one. Slobbersley, baller. Absolute baller. Absolute baller. And McAllister as well. Yeah, if you think we could have actually gone and signed Slobbersley, McAllister and Maddison for the price we paid for Rice and Havertz. That's actually crazy when you're deep in it.
Well, I'm about to ask you, could Havertz not be the signing of the season?
In fact, we would have had 30 million change as well. Oh, my days. Havertz signing of the season. Are you trying to blow me up?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if he ends up being?
I hope he bangs it and takes us to glory, mate. Yeah, but I live in the real world. Yeah, like, he won't. A leopard don't change their spots, mate.
Does Lee hold himself to the same standards?
Yeah, facts. Mate, the last time I had a day off was May. Every day I get up and do my job, mate. Every day. Every day. In my life, everything I do, it has to be how I want it to be. Yeah, and my standards are not on the floor, mate. Yeah, so when I finish this, I'm going to Marbella quickly, drop someone off, I'm coming back and I'm sitting by the pool. And when I'm sat by the pool, I won't be sat on social media. My screen time, by the way, is 1 hour and 20 a day. I was baffed when I see it. Someone goes, oh, you're always on your phone. 1 hour and 20 minutes a day. Yeah, I don't sit online all day. I've got other things to be doing, mate.
That's quality. That £10 super chat. Guy needs Rosetta Stone. Someone in the comments a minute ago said that comment was so bad it made Terry's dyslexia explode. It did. It hurt my dyslexia.
It was that bad. It was nearly good, wasn't it, Toe? Do you know what I mean?
I couldn't work out what he was trying to say. Lee get six packs so Safe can marry Shakira. Safe. Like, it's just, if you were the last man on earth and Shakira was the last woman on earth, I was about to say something bad then. She still wouldn't
get cancelled, mate.
Yeah. She still wouldn't. She still wouldn't. But yeah, it's a weird one. Troop said, I want Alvarez to Arsenal. What do you think, Lee?
He's a baller as well. He's a proper player. But it ain't going to happen.
No chance.
Oh, we've got Eddie in the room, mate. Yeah, your defence is in trouble. We've got Eddie in the room. No, the way we've hyped up all of these players as a fan base, there's no reason not to win the league this season.
Someone here says, what's your job? Drinking and smoking.
My job's relaxing, mate. Chilling. Relaxing. Thinking of other ways to make money. I'm monetized on TikTok now. Cheers, lads. Thanks very much. All the mutants on that platform now can cry and I'm paid to see it. Cheers. Just signed up to Rumble today as well, so you can come and cry on there as well.
There we go. Look, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has tuned in. I appreciate it. I got to go a little earlier today, people. I've got Freya's parents' evening, so see how much of a good girl she's been at school. Do us a favor and hit the like button before you leave. Please make sure you subscribe and have bell notifications turned on. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we will see you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye.